I'm Dave Cox, Superintendent for the Wexford-Missaukee Intermediate School District with another episode of Celebrating Success. My favorite part about this show is not just the guests that we bring on every month, but it's the fact that it's written, produced, directed by, edited by students in the Wexford-Missaukee Career Technical Center, digital media program, which is awesome. So we're in their studio at the Tech Center today, and today we have two special guests with us to have a little conversation about some things that are going on, especially the success stuff. So we have LeAnne Bush with us, and we have Kim Benz. It's interesting because both of these employees are not necessarily employees of the Wexford-Missaukee ISD, but they work for Networks Northwest, but we contract with them at the ISD to deliver services. So we're going to start with LeAnne. Just tell us a little about what you do for the ISD through our partnership with Networks Northwest and the Career Tech Center.
Well, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
I, for the past 10 years, this is my 10th school year, I've been the work-based learning coordinator here at CTC. And for about the last 8 years, I've also been a Jobs for Michigan's Graduates Specialist working in one of our programs here.
So talk about what is work-based learning to our viewers. What does that mean?
Work-based learning means basically anything employment related, giving our students like work experience, job shadows, co-op jobs, things like that.
Can they go anywhere and do anything?
We have to, if they're under 18, you have to follow child labor laws, and safety is always the number one concern. But yes, most all of our programs here at the CTC have students out on co-op. And currently, I have about 84 students in co-op, which is a record year.
That's how many?
84.
Wow. And part of that, and I know, but our viewers don't know, part of that is it's a paid. So instead of coming to the tech center, maybe automotive as an example, they come through the program, but then at certain points throughout the day, right, or the week, there's days that they go to work and they get paid?
Yes,
That's awesome.
they're almost always paid, and they can work up to 4 half days a week. So it's during their time here at the CTC that they will do the co-op.
Okay.
It can
AM
start
or PM?
AM or PM,
Yeah, okay.
because as you know, our students either come here for the AM or the PM session. So they can start as early as like 6:30 in the morning and go until they have to leave for their local school.
Okay.
And then in the PM, it's like they start around noon and they can go till whatever time at night.
Awesome. So if I'm interested as a student, do I just sign up? How do I get selected to do that? Do I have to go find my work site? Do you help me with that? Did you draw out a hat? Talk to me a little bit about that.
It can happen usually, I say one of 3 ways. I can find the co-op placement. Sometimes the student already knows where they want to go, or they've had the job like the previous summer. Or a lot of times also it's teacher recommendation.
Okay. Is there a grade tied to that too? Do I get graded? Do I get observed, evaluated like anybody else in the real workforce, if you will?
Yes, pretty much. Like first of all, there's rules like it's eligibility. It's a privilege to be in co-op, so you have to have at least a certain grade in your class. Few absences. Attendance are a big thing.
Good.
Getting you career ready and work
Attendance,
ready.
got to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then once you're out on co-op, I do quarterly site visits, and with that comes an employer evaluation.
Okay.
So we can see how you're doing out in the field, and then that evaluation goes back to the instructor, and many of the instructors use that as a professional grade.
Excellent. So does it have to be program related? So if I have a job, Culver's or something on the weekend, but I'm in welding, could I go up at Culver's?
No, unfortunately, it has to be.
I'm just kidding. I think that's good. It should be related to the skill set that they're learning here, right, at the Tech Center?
Yes,
Yeah.
Because it's an extension of their class, and they're gaining real world job experience, like in a business, and
That's
it's way different than the classroom. So, but it is an extension. And so, they can do some other activities not related, but at least 50% of their work time needs to be welding or automotive.
Okay.
But, we want them to have the rounded experience. So if they need to, clean, or if it's on a farm and they're a heavy equipment student, they need to be like repairing tractors and that type. But they can also then veer off and milk the cows too.
Sure, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. So in that capacity, is there the ability for a student to work weekends in that same job or longer? Let's say that they're a PM student. Can they work later in the evening then too, though? in that
Yes.
co-op position, or does that co-op cease at that point, and then because they're actually employed by the people. They're not like, is that fair
right.
to say?
That is fair to say.
That's excellent.
It gets a little complicated and a little gray, but for the most part, my training agreement, which serves as their daytime work permit, will only go to about 5 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And after that, then it's, work permit related if they're under 18 and just between them and the employer.
Excellent. So as far as work sites available and students ready on deck, do you have enough? Could you use more work sites? I mean, I think I've heard your ad actually in the radio. If you'd like to be a co-op student, you're looking for a hungry person ready to work. That young generation. So do we have work sites that are waiting, or do we need more? Do we have need more students to qualify or eligible, or is it all the above?
It's a good balance, and
Okay.
absolutely, we can always use more because I have employers that reach out to me all the time, and then I will go to the instructor that it's the related field, and then typically they'll have a student to recommend. So yeah, we can absolutely use more.
Excellent.
I always say to try to do it early in the school year because when we get into the spring, there's always like construction businesses that will reach out to either myself or our instructor, Brad Van Buren. And a lot of times then, like the good ones are gone, so to speak, or students that don't have transportation, that don't have their driver's license or a vehicle, really have a hard time struggling to do a co-op position because they don't have a means to get to work.
Okay.
So contact us early, not the end of the year.
And how if somebody's listening, what do they need to do how can they reach out to you and say, I want a student? Yeah.
They can certainly call me here at the Career Tech Center. It's 231-876-2214. And my email is lbush, B-U-S-H, at WMISD.org.
Excellent. Thank you.
Either
so
way
much.
works.
Awesome. Thank you, LeAnne. Now, our other special guest is Kim, and I know you're both wearing a shirt that has to do with jobs for Michigan's graduates. But before we get there, I want to display something or reveal something. Last month, I was fortunate enough, and I think you were down there, LeAnne, for the conference or not, but we were.
Kim and I.
Yeah,
Kim and I were
they were
both
both down there. We as an ISD, in collaboration with 3 other ISDs, I believe, were recognized by the Michigan Department of Education for excellence in practice for our Jobs for Michigan Graduates program. So how cool is that? Kim, tell us about how cool that is, and what is GMG?
Well, Jobs for Michigan Graduates is a program that is offered in various schools throughout northern Michigan, and currently we are in here at Career Tech Center, and the program helps our students become successful, get them to think about what they want to do once they graduate, whether that is a full-time job, post-secondary education, maybe an apprenticeship. So we work with our students to have them think about what do they want to do when they leave here. And we also remove any barriers that we can in order for them to be successful. So LeAnne mentioned the driver's license and co-op. We have funds through Youth Solutions and Jobs for Michigan Graduates that we can help students remove some of those barriers, such as help them out with a driver's license or a state ID or a missing social security
Well, you said help
card.
them out with a driver's license.
Mhm.
That's awesome, because we know where that is, the cost
Yep.
of that, and the lack of affordable, let alone having the opportunity to have
Yeah.
vendors to be able to provide that.
Mhm.
So, but how does a student, how are the students that you're working with in GMG, how are they selected? Can anybody be
Well,
part of that, work with you?
anybody can be part of it. That we want them to be willing to join the program. We don't force anybody to join the program. They have to be willing to come in and to do some of the work. And
So it's working.
yeah.
Not necessarily physical work, but
Right.
there's work
I mean,
involved.
we take them on trips, we take them, on job shadows, things like that. And, we don't want to drag them along. If they want to be a part of the program and want to improve their future or create a career pathway down the road, then they're of course allowed to come in. There's no requirement or anything like that.
So is there I don't want to use a caseload, but how many students are you serving that are within the GMG, and maybe you both?
A lot.
A lot. Oh, that's good.
So
Okay.
they like us to have approximately 65 kids on our caseload.
Wow.
Once they graduate, we follow those students for a year. So every month we reach out to them, find out how they're doing. Are they getting ready? Are they having any problems with their enrollment in college? Do they need any help with textbooks, or do they need anybody to talk to about the process? filling out
When do
their
you pick them up then? You
FAFSAs.
mentioned college. You pick them up as a sophomore or a senior
We
in high school? When do you
we
take
pick them up. So we have specialists in the Cadillac High
Okay.
School. We have some in the middle school.
Excellent.
So we've started as early as middle school.
great.
Here we work with juniors and seniors at Career Tech Center. So we start talking to them
That's awesome.
already in 11th grade.
That's awesome.
What
do
do you
you
wanna
pair
do?
them up with mentors? Just curiosity.
We can.
Yeah, I didn't know whether it's the workforce or
yeah.
education or each other. Do you have meetings and stuff, group meetings, and talk about like practice for interviews,
Yep.
those kinds? Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Oh,
So our
wonderful. What a great
students,
program.
yeah, they just some of our students participated in Mock It and Rock It. We can bring people in from Michigan Works and work with them to do mock interviews in the classroom, resume prep, soft skills, all kinds of things.
And there's
we
no
work on
cost.
it.
It's just an opportunity that's provided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as a result of that success, the ISDs in general, which they all have that program, we were one of the 3 recipients of that. So very cool, very cool. Well, thank you, ladies, very much. I want to thank Kim and LeAnne for joining us today for this recent edition of Celebrating Success. I'm Dave Cox, your host. We'll see you next time. Thank you.